Hi guys, it's Maggie from Knitting in the Park. Murphy's here. He might jump. I apologize if he does. I love to knit shawls and I offer a lot of shawl patterns, but I've been seeing some disheartening comments in some of the knitting groups that I belong to about how to wear shawls and getting bored with them, not, knitting, loving them, and then kind of falling out of love with them because they don't know how to wear them. So I've got a shawl here and a chopstick. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways. My chopstick is just because I can't find a shawl pin right now. You can substitute this for almost any shawl pin, especially the longer ones. I'm just going to set this aside for now. This shawl is a little bit thicker, so some of the ways I'm going to show you to wear your shawl might look better with a thinner shawl that drapes a little bit more beautifully. This is an acrylic shawl right now. It's made in a worsted weight yarn. If you'd like the pattern for this, I've got it available on my website. It's the Modified Tracks in the Snow shawl. So let's start with the most common ways to wear a shawl, right? This is the way my mom always does it, just throws it over her shoulder. She's ready to go. There's a couple different things you can do to create a variation on this look. This is great, it's comfortable, it's often the way I sit and knit while I'm watching TV or while I'm just on the front porch taking in the sunlight with the dog. So my mom will often take the shawl and tie it to keep it in place. And then it's nice, right? It works, but you've got these little ends that sometimes, depending on the thickness of the shawl, it's like, what do I do with them, right? We're gonna turn this, I think it's called a box nut, but we're gonna take this, first tie that we did, right? And just tie it again. And pull it and stretch it and work it so that you've got a little bit more of a loose fit with your shawl, right? And this is acrylic, so I can do a lot of like futzing with it. But it takes that bulky knot from here, places it right below your chest, and just kind of, yeah, you like this? Right? It makes a cute little bow, almost like a bow out of it, and holds it in place. Your arms are free, you're not worried about the shawl falling off or shifting. It's a really easy breezy way to wear your shawl. If you don't like the ends sticking out, you can always kind of make like a love knot look out of it by taking the ends and poking them through and hiding them in the folds of the shawl. So this is one of my favorite ways to take. So you can do a similar take on this, and instead of tying it in front here, take it back. Now again, when you initially tie this, the shawl might feel a little tight around the shoulders. It might feel like it's hard to work in or do things in. So we just take it and tie it one more time. It might be a little hard to see underneath the shawl here, right? But take it and tie it one more time, and because you're knotting it, you can pull the ends of the shawl to the point where it gets much looser and you can actually work with it. It'll also come undone a lot less, so you can actually, go about your day wearing your shawl like this. This is one of those ways that a thinner shawl that might have a prettier drape might look a little bit better. A third way you can customize it like this, or using this double knot technique, is, if I can undo my knot, take it and place it over top of the draped portion of the shawl. Again, this works for the longer shawls. Again, because I can't see it, it might not look the best right now, but you can also repeat that love knot kind of look by tucking the ends back into the knot and having a nice little kind of centerpiece to the back of the shawl, especially for the more simplistic shawls. And your arms are free, you can work, you can do whatever you need to, you can hold your baby. Driving might not be comfortable with the knot in your back, but you can do a lot of different things. It's great for washing dishes in the winter when you're cold and you're over the sink. So that's the first kind of way to modernize or level up your normal, typical way to wear a shawl, right? Another popular way is to take the shawl at the front, kind of do that bandana cowl look. You can always take the ends of your shawl underneath and tie them so that they are out of sight. This needs blocked. My ends are curling a little bit, so just kind of play with it and futz until it looks the way you'd like it to. Again, this is very thick, so look it's quite chunky right now. But just play with it in front of the mirror. Shawls are very forgiving, can do a lot with them. So you can also take those ends at the top of your shawl, and this is a great thing that I like to do depending on whether I'm wearing a jacket. So instead of tying them underneath, I'm going to tie it in the same way we did, but just on top. And because it's a knot, you can stretch it and pull it and tighten it. This is a great little way to kind of get some added detail, especially if you're wearing a jacket. I'm not right now, but the jackets typically come, you know, you can stop zippering them here, but you're still getting your neck, and you can bury your face in it as you're walking. So in the winter, when you're walking to your car, you can't put the shawl, you know, over the when you put your shawl over the shoulders in a jacket, it can kind of get bunched up. This is a simple way to turn it into a cowl and wear it with a jacket. Again, you can always tuck the ends of your knot in so that it becomes more of a, oh, and I had my shawl inside out on that one. Great job, Mags. So another fun way to wear your shawl is kind of an asymmetrical over one of your shoulders. If you just take the short end and then put the long end over top of it, it can kind of sometimes fall over or come undone. So it's staying right now, of course, because now that I said that, why would my shawl want to cooperate? So sometimes I like to take the shorter side over my shoulder, hold it up, and then tuck the longer side underneath because I have a little bit more control over it. This is, you can tie it here. Sometimes if it's a thinner shawl, that will work. This is a little bit thick, so it might not tie very well. This is a nice time where I just like to take the edge of my shawl where it's got some of the detail, line it up with the other edge, and then again, this is a chopstick, not a shawl pin, so don't judge. Just kind of pin it in place like that. Now you're free to futz and kind of make the rest of your shawl work. This is just a fun, different way to wear the shawl. It's casual, warm, not too warm. Sometimes again with the thicker shawls it gets a little bit too warm, so this is a way to not be totally wrapped up in it if you'd like to just use it kind of to add to an outfit. So you can always use your shawl pin in a lot of different ways. They're a great way to add definition or a little bit of a pizzazz, additional beauty to a shawl. It makes it very easy, hands-free. It makes the shawl very accessible. And some of them are just downright gorgeous. So that's a couple of my fun ways to accessorize with your favorite shawl by kind of leveling up the traditional or boring ways that we typically do our shawls. I like chopsticks and the longer shawl pins, honestly, because you can do a lot with them. So you can grab a lot of the material in the shawl and go through multiple layers. So it makes using a shawl pin a little bit easier and gives you a broader range of ways to wear your shawl. Some of them come in metal, so a lot of them come in wood. There's just all kinds of different ways that you can use your shawl and a pin to dress up, to dress down, to wear a shawl with any outfit, really. Do you have any other ways that you like to wear a shawl, accessorize them? Leave them in the comments below. I'm always looking for fun new ways to get more use out of these beautiful things that we create by hand. I also like to create some of these videos and just short tutorials so that when I gift a shawl to somebody, they understand or can come back as a resource on how to use and wear a shawl, so they don't get stuck and they get as much joy out of the gift as we do when we make it. Thanks a lot, guys. This has been Maggie from Knitting in the Park. Please give me a subscribe, please give me a like, and hit that notification bell so that you are alerted to any new videos that I upload to this channel. Have a great day, and I hope that you get more use out of those lovely shawls, whether they're store-bought, handmade, gifted, heirloomed, whatever they might be.